Welcome, boys and girls, to the Left Turn podcast. The left turns we're taking tonight are shark fin soup, 15 fruit trees, bees, sonic toothbrushes, Feng Shui, Cultural Revolution, drones, send trash into the sun. Ooh, beer. Everybody, you guys are already flashing what you're having tonight. We got to kick off. It's a tradition. I'm going to start with my left. Henry, what are you having tonight?
Well, I brought the freaking bottle with me this time.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Oh wow.
You drink
Kirkland.
cognac?
XO cognac.
You drink XO?
Wow.
You are much more Asian than I thought.
Dude, what's up with that? I was at Costco and I decided to pick this up. You know, I heard some good reviews about it, so I thought I'd give it a try.
And what is your thought? What do you think about it?
I like bourbon better.
Mm.
I like bourbon better.
Is it sweeter? Or
This one, no, bourbon's sweeter.
that's what I mean, because bourbon is sweeter.
Bourbon's sweeter. This one, it's actually pretty smooth. It's not too rough at the initial hit. But overall, I like a little bit more sweet on my spirits.
Will it go well with what was it, shark fin soup?
I don't even know. I had my last time I had shark fin soup was like when I was a kid.
Ken's like, wait.
All right, Freddie, you're going to have to explain that. I think somebody on this call might not get that. So, hey.
I will.
No, why are you talking about, Ken? Why are you... What did shark fin soup, Ken?
No, you started it. You need to describe what that combination actually means. Okay.
See, actually, I'm not as Asian as people think I am.
That part I don't. Actually, I don't know why. So you have to tell why. I don't know why. I just see people do it. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
It's like adding Tabasco sauce to tacos. Okay, it's the same thing.
Maybe it's just like some alcoholic Asian dude, like just wanted to find a reason to do it. Yeah.
So anyway, shark fin soup is usually what banquets. They don't use shark fin. They don't use actually shark fin anymore. They use like chicken and stuff and some other stock. And so, but traditionally it's like a banquet food. And so XO is also like for some reason really heavy, like celebratory alcohol. So like. But then, like, they always pour the XO into the shark fin soup, which is like already overboard because
it goes into the soup.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll like eat it. Like you can just drink it, the soup by itself, but then people would put XO in it, and then the other one was
it always tastes like egg drop soup anyway. So seriously.
Yeah, you had the wrong type, man.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not sophisticated. I don't get to go to nice banquets. Okay. I mean, this is how poor I was. So hey.
It was really weird because it was really expensive. So at the height before they like outlawed that you could actually have this stuff, it was like $10 a bowl, and a bowl is like a little rice bowl. So $10 per serving, pretty much, is what you account for. So like. Table of what, 8, right? No, table of 10. How many fit at a table?
10, 12, 10 or 12.
10 or 12 to a table, you know, so it's at least that bowl, just that one soup bowl is like $100 to $120, you know. So it was just like the only reason I know so much about it is because my dad worked in, you know, my dad was a banquet manager for a very long time. And so he would always bring home the leftovers. And so to us, it was like, but like it was really weird because.
And then do you have a leftover XO bottle too?
No, because
go with it?
We had so much alcohol in our house. I didn't even care. Like I was like, whatever. I never drank alcohol until later. But anyways, but like, yeah, it was like we would freeze it. We would just put it in the freezer and then like, oh, so we'd be like this. Normally people eat it at banquets. My sister and I would like eat it at breakfast before going to school. You're like, this is really weird.
And the funny thing is,
XO in it?
No XO for school. No XO for school. That would be terrible. Although
the
it's
funny
not like
thing
my
is
parents
this,
had
though.
locked cabinets or anything. So
Yeah. No, but Henry's point about shark fin soup, it's really, really true. You can take the shark fin out of it, which is most costly ingredient in there, and it would taste the same. It would taste fine.
Mm.
That shark fin is really there for texture, and that's about it.
It's just
it's probably
cartilage.
it's supposedly for virility and everything else.
It's cartilage. It's like your ear. It's the cartilage. It's the same thing.
Oh man. Okay, so Asians really believe a connection between things that are similar looking to other things that you want to do well. So in this case, if you're talking about fertility,
Oh boy, here we go.
Shark fin.
Shepherd.
Is what?
If you break it apart into its little strands, it's a bit larger on one end and streamlines itself more to the other, kind of like a tail.
Of a
It's sperm soup.
Thank
It's better. If you get sperm
a
soup,
swimmer. Jeez, come on.
add the XO
Swimmer.
in there. Add the XO in there.
Yeah, you get the swimmers drunk. You know, that's the whole purpose of it. That's what he
Yeah.
was trying to do.
Remember, in a bowl, they're not there to fertilize anything. They're just there for texture.
Wow, this intro took a left turn really quickly.
Man,
What are you drinking, Left Turn?
Just some wine. Just some
Nice.
wine.
Oh, wait! You just opened that, and then that thing's like a quarter gone.
whoa.
No, it's not a quarter. Well, I'm on to my second cup already.
Jesus, we just opened it. Just listened like 2 minutes ago.
Can I ask? So you're probably gonna drink the whole bottle. Why not just drink the bottle? Why use the glass?
Hey, we're
It's just-
classy. We're
Is it classy?
classier than that.
Dude, Fred, how would it look like if just me sipping out of the bottle of wine?
I don't know. Mad respect for me.
So
It would not be a good
Ernesto,
look.
I got an A in geometry in high school. And looking at your bottle and how much volume of air is in there now from the top to where it is, does not match what's in your glass. So I have to ask you, do the objects in this Zoom call, are they larger than what's being shown? What's going on?
Yes, the answer is all of the above.
Nice.
We
Yeah,
said
I
it
don't
was
know.
glass 2. He said it was glass 2. So he already had one, and then he
Yeah.
poured another
Yeah.
glass, and he's got
So-
another glass in. So it's about
Well,
right.
wait. You had a glass while we were talking? Like down the glass and then refilled?
I didn't.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
blinked. He was gone.
I'm sorry. I have to replay this.
Yes, we will. Let's just
Okay.
pause it real quick. Just stop recording. Go back. Right.
Yeah.
Kale, what
I-
are you drinking?
I'm going to have to confirm that, guys. All right. Henry, I'm going to need your help here. I am having a
What?
German beer.
Oh, Weinstefan.
Weinstefan.
Hefeweizen.
There we go. Hefeweiss beer.
Yeah.
It's delicious. You can tell, right? The color. Very easy to go down. Smooth. Crisp
Very
and
nice.
clean tasting. It's like a sip of mouthwash every time. Leaves you refreshed.
Ow. Mouthwash.
I don't mouthwash and beer.
Yeah, I know.
Are you gurgling it too while you're at it?
Sorry, guys. I completely failed to sell there. Sorry, guys. We're going to find something else.
All right, can we do a take 2 of this intro?
Yeah.
No,
He said,
I think you should keep it. It's just, oh man.
"Let's go."
I'm just gonna go with Coke Zero because national brand. You know, we'll pick up.
Zero.
Some.
Yeah.
Gotta get heavy hitters. We got any heavy hitters in our sponsorship.
Nice. Hey, we have to have one person who's the designated responsible Zoomcaster. And I appreciate that, Freddie. You're always the responsible one.
What? Oh yeah, I'm not gonna crash. Well, we're not even driving.
You're definitely,
I kind of wish to drive sometimes. You know, it's like
you're definitely DD. But at least you're riding. So did you ride today? It's a beautiful day.
oh, I didn't have time. Yeah, I didn't have time to
Oh.
ride.
Oh.
But yeah, it's all right. It was a nice day. I did see some riders out there. I was like, oh, it'd be nice, but just ran out of time.
Yeah.
picked up some fruit trees. Unlike Henry, we don't have an actual orchard, so I'm trying to create one.
You can start
Oh, that's
planting
cool.
them. It takes about 5-10 years before you can harvest, so start planting them now.
Yeah.
Hold on. So, Henry, are you missing a couple of fruit trees?
No,
Dude,
yeah,
if-
we are. Because Freddie took them all.
Those would be huge. If he didn't catch me taking one out, I don't know if I can put my.
He drives a truck. Okay, there's a reason why he drives a truck.
I don't know if I could put my arms around like the trunk of one of his trees. Like his trees are pretty big. And and then like Henry's trees, they produce so much fruit that he's like, I don't know what to do with it. That's how much fruit that he produces. He's like, oh shit.
What kind of fruits? What kind of fruits do you have, Henry?
Oh, dude, I stopped counting after 15. 15
Holy.
different type of. I guess I never talked about this to you. With tons of apples. We have like 7 different types of apples. See, I gotta count. I'm going through my mind now. Persimmons, lemons, grapefruit, pomegranate, loquat, raspberry. Dude, I'm only like halfway through my yard. Anyways, got tons.
Thompson grapes, delicious.
Oh, I got grapes too.
Yeah.
I got pineapple guava,
Are
strawberry
your grapes
guava.
big?
Huh?
Are the grapes actually pretty big, or
They're
you
actually
eat them?
I eat them. No, actually,
Oh, okay.
squirrels get to them before I do. Of all things,
Scratch that.
yeah. Or the raccoons. I think we have a family of like 6 or 8. It's in my backyard. The raccoons in my backyard, and I don't know how to get rid of them. So I just give up. I'm like, okay, you guys can have whatever is in the back. So we were playing games hide and seek for a while, but then later on they won.
They kept finding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good at that.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So
Very cool. All right. So I'm glad they kind of like, I don't know, spun a couple of circles around a common topic, right? Fertility. Like, Henry, your trees are very big and fertile and plentiful.
which
That's
by
great.
and just so you know, it's actually, people talk about being fertile with trees. It's actually hard. It's really, really
Hold on.
hard.
Back on the road.
I have to pull that
left
back.
Turn, that
I
left
have to
turn.
pull
We
that
got right
back.
back onto the highway. Hi.
I don't know what you guys are
Please.
thinking.
People, do not get fertile with trees. It hurts.
Dude, it's getting them actually pollinated, all that stuff. It's freaking hard, dude. It's because we could have like 1 year we would have a whole bunch of flowers, but no fruiting. Because
Have you noticed bees, Henry? Are they hanging out in the area?
so I tried different things. I put different type of native flowers, so bees would come and all that stuff. I mean, it actually takes a lot of work. But this is the funny part is actually, so tomatoes you need to be pollinated just like anything else. So one easiest way is to do it is actually you pretend that so you're the bee. And the easiest way for you to be the bee is use ultrasonic toothbrushes.
Henry brings. He's got a totally different beak suit than we do. Than you think.
No, but you actually use ultrasonic toothbrush. It's the best way to pollinate tomato plants.
Really?
Wow.
But why do you guys shake it? Why do you got?
Huh?
Why is it ultrasonic? Why not just a toothbrush?
Do you
Because
turn it on?
You actually turn it on. The reason why you actually have to is actually mimicking the bees vibration, like as a bees flapping and coming by and so on and so forth. They will actually pollinate within itself. So ultrasonic toothbrush is the best way to do it. So just touch the stem and just turn it on and turn it off. You can actually see the pollen fall out within the tomato plants.
And that would be like automatically for me, just like achoo. Just
well, last year we have almost like 90-ish% success rate with that. So,
Wow, that's cool.
yeah.
With the ultrasonic.
So
toothbrush.
but you don't need a separate pollinating fruit or something to like cross pollinate. I guess
Not for tomatoes.
So you just mimic the action instead to force
The pollen to fall out.
because this is what it was biologically made to do. Interesting.
Yes.
Science.
Oh, that's like 2 levels beyond science. Right?
No, that's science. No, that's real science. This is applicable science. All the
no,
shit
no,
that you
no.
learn, like if you ask me, like, okay, periodic table is great that you know it, but you ask me right now, is it useful in regular life? Most likely not. But what Henry's talking about is I can now feed myself. And if my tomatoes are not growing, I can figure out, oh, is it not fertilizing? Can I just try to like self-pollinate to help, accelerate the growth? So in essence, like now you can create that food, and that food can feed someone. It's a little easier just to have that direct correlation quickly. That's what I'm saying. Like
I agree with you
interesting.
there. The reason why I mean is what Henry's describing as levels beyond science is that's like serious MacGyver science shit, Like who would have thought about doing that? Like where does that come from?
YouTube.
You
YouTube
sleepwalk in.
goal.
Yeah, you have a toothbrush on you, you fell into tomato plants, it turned on, and you saw the flutter of pollen, and you're like, MacGyver moment.
I find that some people are very, when they look at things, they look at it from scientific solutions, possibly. So, it's like when people wonder, you're like, oh, I wonder why my tomatoes aren't growing. You're like, damn it! Like every season I try, it gets worse, or it's just not growing anymore. Now you have a separate option because unfortunately, you wouldn't know this unless you ask around, or you have to go find it somewhere. We can't go to the library. Luckily, we have the internet nowadays. I wonder how you would learn that shit when we didn't have ultrasonic when we were kids, so. But I wonder how fast.
Well, technically we did, right? We had bees. So if you're bold enough,
the actual bees.
Strap a couple of beads and stick it in your mouth.
That sounds painful.
Just a little bit.
Not as bad as fertilizing trees.
True. Maybe.
Ernesto, have you tried growing anything? Have you all, in this pandemic, has it like gardening started at your house or anything?
Well, so we tried some indoor plants. We went to Home Depot and we got some, just some of those green indoor plants. They all died. Like we do not have green thumbs. Wait, we even got some desert plants. What are they called?
Succulents?
Yeah, some succulents. And we somehow managed to kill those too. I have no idea how. So we ended up a buddy of ours, like he's all into succulents. So it was like an emergency transplant. We took our succulents and we drove them over to his place, and he's now bringing them back to life. We went to go check them out last week. They're doing really well.
It's like you want to go visit your own kid or visit them at the hospital. Oh, are you doing okay?
That's exactly it. They're doing good.
Wow. Now I think it's the same here. Depending on who's taking care of the plant, it can live or die. It's all based on who's taking responsibility. And a lot of times, nobody is. So
that's why it dies.
Yeah. And it's
why
kind of funny.
What's that? Wasn't there like a watering schedule?
I'm the only one that would do it. And if I forget, the thing dies. Like nobody else in the house cares. So for a while,
plants F you.
My parents from time to time would bring over certain types of house plants because they're firm believers of Feng Shui. Right?
I was going to say luck. I was going to say because
I mean
superstition.
Well, sure, you call it that. Let's not insult those people.
No, I'm just
quite a lot of them.
Superstition.
Yeah. But all our house plants, it's my parents that provided them and brought them over. It's really for Feng Shui. They believe that having plants in the house and it's positioned in the right place, it affects the
Wait,
energy. or
Wait,
the
wait. So how does your parents feel when trying to correct your feng shui with these plants and they die?
Well, they get pissed, but then they keep swapping them out, right? Same thing.
They're like,
Ernesto.
I'll give you a new one. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or
there's
just run
an
to
E-
Home
We'll
Depot.
reset for you.
Just run to Home Depot.
there's
Yeah.
there's an ER for that stuff. So they're basically the EMT. They'll come by, take the plant, put in a fresh one, bring that one home. It gets resuscitated, and then we do this rotational thing. Kind of works.
I don't know. I kind of believe in that a little, right? Because like maybe the putting a plant next to you is maybe has some type of feng shui effect, right? But maybe the oxygen that it produces, right, kind of brings you a little bit better feeling, right? Maybe that's what it boils down to.
That is true. I think anything that impacts your mood, your overall just calmness, right? Your sense of being. However, the one thing I don't like about feng shui are all the damn copper pots and pans and fountains, water fountains that like you have to put it right at the base of your staircase. And if you forget, you kick it or you step in it. And that's not good feng shui, man.
Yeah, that's not good function at all. Move that pot.
Wait.
Yeah.
It is death hazard. Just put it at the stairway. It's okay. We just put it at the top. So if you trip on it, you fall down. It's okay.
Oh no, not that crazy. It's at the base.
Oh, so you only trip, it's slip and
The last
slide. That's slip
Yeah.
and slide. That's all it is.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
No, dude, that one, like, I don't know if that one's right. I think you need to move that one. I think, like, just safety hazard. I don't know.
Yeah. No, like even my dad, he literally had that at his house for a couple of weeks. And usually people ask for those things when things aren't going well, or there's a downturn, or in luck or perceived luck. And then when they consult the feng shui masters, they'll say, "Oh yeah, just buy this thing, put it right there, fill it with water." And so it got to a point where even my dad got, like, he's a big time believer, but he got pissed at that thing. He was like, "This ain't working." And he tossed it out. It just didn't work. But yeah, there are different levels of feng shui. I think the key takeaway from that is that
What level have you made it to?
Wait, there's graduating levels?
That's what I was at.
Okay, so there was a moment in my life when things weren't going so well. Okay.
So wait, this is great. I love this. I because this is I bet you I have been in your shoes, except I was much younger when it happened. So
Yeah, no, this was early on when we were just starting a family, right? And my parents were trying to solve a lot of issues, right, within the family and all of that stuff. I'm not going to go deep into the reasons why, but the end result is the same. My dad paid, I think it was like $800 for a feng shui master to visit the house. I didn't know that he was going to do it. He covered it. He's like, "Son, don't worry about the money. I'll take care of it." So he got the person to get in there, and they have like this really complicated calculus looking like type of compass. It's basically a compass with a lot of markings on it, right? And they measure based on certain positions in your house, and then that would determine where they would position certain objects in the house. And objects vary greatly. In our case, we had to have and purchase 2 cuckoo clocks made of wood, okay? And they can't be electric. They're wind-ups, all right? Now this, if it was like a high quality cuckoo clock, I'd be like, "Oh, it's kind of cool looking," right? You've seen them in movies, cartoons, they're kind of cool to hang. But these are cheap motherfucking things. It just annoys the hell out of me. But what made it expensive, because each one of these was $200, okay? The reason why is there is a, what do you call that? Freddie, is it like a blessing, or it's like a red folded sheet of paper with usually money inside. And then
It's really just like a fortune, like a
Okay.
I mean, I
it's
have
just really
to say,
like a written fortune, right?
yeah, I have to
So-
say though,
Yeah.
like like $200, yeah, it's an expensive clock. I mean, that's why it's $200 because you pay $200 for it. That's why
yeah,
it's
but
expensive.
here's the thing
He's paying
that's
for the
why I made
blessing,
it so
not for the
cheap.
clock.
Yeah, you pay more for the blessing than clock, but clock you have to wind it, and what happens is whenever you
Jeez.
wind it, it can tell accurate time for maybe about an hour. After that, it starts slowing down.
Oh, gee, rewind every hour.
Yeah, you got to go back there,
God.
rewind it, and then adjust the clock, and it pisses me off. And so every day I have to look at this damn thing, and I can't pay attention to the time because I know it's wrong. But I'm like,
Why wind
okay,
it? Why wind it?
well, otherwise it wouldn't work as well, or so I believe. But yeah,
This is like, what's the guy's name? Sisyphus? Is it the guy with the rock? Just
I'm pushing it,
keeps pushing the rock up the hill.
and it falls right back down and get pushing right back up again.
Right. That's what I'm asking. Does it feel like
it
that?
is the same because you can't tell time with that rock either. But yeah, I mean that to me is like when you're commercializing the whole feng shui thing, and it turns it into a money maker. And
That seems like that part frustrated you pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Because then you're trying to also appease to like, your family and everything else because they really want to do this, and you're like, it's not necessary, and they're like, no, we really want to do this. And you're like, okay, we're doing this.
Well, believe
now
me,
right? Now I'm winding the clock.
when
2 clocks. You got to wind
sorry.
2 clocks.
Sorry, I'm
Two
winding
clocks,
2 clocks.
Yes.
and they will never match. Their time will never ever match.
Even if you start at the same time, like a minute later, one's at 2, one's at 1. You're like, oh, this is one's going
1:30 then.
backwards. How frustrating.
Yeah. But if you can imagine, right? It was kind of bad. I mean, my parents are trying to do the right thing. They
don't know how
try
to help
solve
you.
problems. Yeah,
They don't know how to help you, right? It's a difficult thing. I think that's what it comes down to. Is like your parents have helped you because they're you're still young and they're trying to help you through making it into an adulthood and everything else. And so they're like they don't know that it's something that you can't control, for someone else. And so the only thing they can control is like maybe some emotions and stuff. So this helps calm it. So I get that part, but I don't get the part of like, yo, these are fortune tellers. You know that, right? Like it's our culture as fortune tellers. That's how I when I ended up looking back at it, I was like, I see why it's necessary or not. I see why people do it, but I also see like some of this is very unnecessary. Like Ken said, 2 clocks is 1 clock would have been fine.
Yeah. I kind of like some of the old traditions and superstitions because they're kind of fun, and it's neat to participate in just for the experience. An example is like there's this really famous temple I think it's in Hong Kong. Freddie or Henry, you might know, it's called Wong Dai Sin, right? It's a very popular temple. Everybody goes there. And what they do is they get like a bamboo cup, and it has all these wooden sticks on them. And each stick has a different marking or a connotation to some sort of fortune. And so you're supposed to pray and shake this cup. And eventually one stick will start climbing right through the rest of them, and it'll fall out of the cup. And that's going to be your fortune. And you get it interpreted by somebody there. And, that's kind of fun. And you make a donation to the temple and you go through the experience. That's fine. Like, I love that stuff. But the damn fucking clocks, dude. Like, that annoys you every day. That I'm not okay with.
This is
There's a
the
line
big
there.
Buddha.
Have
The
those
big
clocks?
Buddha on top of the hill. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I have to,
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up.
Do you still have those clocks?
No, I tossed them.
He's like, I punted them as soon as I could. Ernesto, do you have any do you all have any great superstitions like that, or some superstitions that you all try to follow?
Yeah, I think the one that comes to mind, there's 2 that come to mind. One, I remember when we first got this house, my dad gave me a horseshoe to put somewhere in my house. specifically an entrance, right? And it's still hanging. It's hanging right outside.
Is
the
it
garage.
this way? Is it upside or down? Facing up or down?
It's downside. It's downside.
Okay.
That's the only way I can hang it. And then the other one, so when babies are born, we're supposed to put like this like red bead bracelet around them, and they're supposed to wear it for as long as they possibly can, and that's supposed to bring the baby good luck. My baby was a little too big, our first one, so the bracelet didn't go around his fat little wrist.
That's good, I guess. I mean,
yeah. So we still have it. It's somewhere in the drawer, but yeah, my mom didn't like that too much.
did she freak out? Like, oh no, Mia!
Yeah. She was a little concerned that he wasn't gonna have good luck, but
Oh.
yeah.
So did you end up finding another one? And then you're like, oh, we gotta get, or just we just
No,
deal
we
with it?
didn't. We were just like it'll be fine. We'll just be extra careful with him.
But so Ernesto, I hate to ask you this though. I know you're Latino, but is there different traditions within your family because you're different Latinos, I mean,
There isn't that big of a difference.
Okay.
Not too much. Mostly it's food. So for those that don't know, half Mexican, half Salvadorian. So foods are different. Music's different. A lot of the kind of like the bigger cultures are pretty much the same, right? There are some small differences here and there, but generally not that big of a difference.
I see. So
Yeah.
this is about superstitions, about Feng Shui, all this stuff. This is my view of it all. Mostly, is that so you're talking to Fred and Ken. They're actually from Cantonese, specific part of Cantonese. They're very superstitious. In China, if you're actually from China today, they got rid of all the superstitions completely because of the
Really?
Cultural Revolution.
You're not allowed to have any of these, like,
Yeah.
well, you're not. They
Wait,
don't.
So who made that decision though? Who
Mao.
Mao Zedong. During the Cultural Revolution, when they came about, they just got rid of everything.
So, like, not even religion. You're not even technically supposed to have religion.
Yeah, everybody's equal because it's a pure socialist.
So that's why, and then Buddhism is a little different because it's not only religious, it's cultural. So it is allowed because it's part of cult, like that is our culture. But like they're like, yeah, it's do they allow other religions? I don't even know.
No, they
Like
don't.
Christianity and stuff.
They're like bashing Muslims right now in China, in the eastern parts.
Yeah, the Uyghurs.
So that's kind of interesting, right? Because so my wife, atheist, right? I grew up Catholic. Yeah, right. Catholic elementary, Catholic high school, right? Like the whole thing. But I felt like once I started going through college, right, and I started like looking at the world a little differently, my opinion on whether or not a God existed was shifted, right? And to this day, I haven't fully had this conversation with my parents either, right? Like that's the other thing too, like to try to tell them like, yo, I don't know if there's a God out there. Right? Like, I don't know, right? Like,
do you think
right?
that would really shatter their perception of things, or just
maybe if I would have had this conversation 10, 15 years ago, it would have been a little different, right? Now I feel like I've raised 3 kids and they're still alive. Like I've got a home, it hasn't burned down yet, right? Like I've got a job, I haven't been fired yet, right? Like, so I feel like they're there's certain things that I've at least kind of checked off to where maybe I can have that opinion, right? But it's, I think it's interesting that like at like a country level, they're like, you know what? No, we're wiping the slate clean. Everyone's equal, right? Like this is what we're doing. I think to me that's fascinating and interesting.
It's also kind of scary because
Yeah.
then you're not allowed to have that.
That's the other one.
A lot of shit went down.
Like a lot of to enact those things, they like, I mean, they just like cleared out places and just took everything and took it for the government. So you're rich or poor, it doesn't matter. They took it all, beat people if you didn't follow, doctrine, and crazy times, man.
So that's why I think
That's
that's why Hong Kong is very superstitious. Taiwan's very superstitious. I guess I don't want to say countries because it's not a country, but depends on who you talk to. They are their own stuff. But anyway, so Taiwan is own because they never got the Cultural Revolution, so that's why they still kept all the superstitious and everything.
Oh, and why didn't they?
I mean, it has to do with China history. So basically, when Mao Zedong came about, the nationalists, which is led by Chiang Kai-shek, they escaped to Taiwan, and that kind of split them up. And Hong Kong was part of was a treaty with the Britain for was it 99 years until 1997,
something like that.
Yeah, so that's why they all kept their own culture. And China had their own culture, which got rid of all the superstitious and all the really nice temples. Actually, they just knocked it out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
And that's also why you see the Dalai Lama, right? Like Tibet and everything else, he can't even go back.
Yeah.
You see him traveling everywhere else. He's everywhere else, but he can't because Tibet still belongs to China, I think.
Yeah.
And so he can't
Can't go back.
Yeah, even though he's like super smart. If you ever heard him talk, he's very smart, very intelligent, has very great views, is very tolerant of, just other people's cultures and everything else, but is not allowed to preach, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
We'll sign him up as a guest on this podcast tonight.
Hey, dude, if you can catch up Dalai Lama, I don't even know what I would have to prep because I don't know what you would like. This is great honor. So
No. Well, I mean,
if you I know you want to talk to 4 lowly people. Thank you for your 5 minutes.
I'm not that lonely. What are you talking about?
yeah.
But he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that would be a hilarious conversation to have with him. But hey, Dalai Lama, what are your thoughts on sonic toothbrushes and bees? I think he would be able to give a remarkable answer.
Sure. Well, and just wrap this up, I mean, but that's another reason why China doesn't recognize Vatican. I mean, they recognize them, but they're not in the good terms.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you're hanging out with us, Ernesto.
For knowledge, for these knowledge bombs, for this kind of stuff.
By the way,
That and
I
I need some drinking partners. That's all.
Well, there's
hey,
also, I mean,
that always works.
it's actually pretty. It's funny because actually pretty apropos or whatever, or pretty on time because technically Chinese New Year's or the Lunar New Year is next week. Is that right?
Yeah.
So it starts next week, and so Lunar New Year for all the Asian cultures. They have different names in different countries. They call what in Vietnam it's the Tet. I don't know what else they call it in other countries, but I think it's mostly Lunar New Year.
Well, next
Yeah,
year is not that good. It's the year of the ox.
But we do a lot of as I say, we do a lot of superstitions, right? My family does a lot of stupid stuff. Not say stupid stuff. My family does a lot of things to try to kind of bring good luck. So such as you can do all the cleaning you want before the day of, but you don't sweep. So you try to sweep out everything from the last year so that you can welcome in a new year. Yeah. But you can't sweep and everything for the first however long in the new year because then it's you're sweeping all this good luck that's just coming in. Now you're blocking it, right? So it's just kind of spring cleaning in a way as well. And so when I think about some of these traditions, it's probably oh, they probably did it so it's around spring cleaning, and they do certain things around certain things. When I think about traditions, or like why people don't do things, or why people do things as a culture, it's probably because at the time when they were created, like it was very important, right, to that culture. So like Muslims don't eat pork, right? And they say pork is very dirty. Like, well, yes, pork was pretty dirty way back when you didn't know how to clean it, and you didn't know that you had to fully cook it before you ate it. So you would go get sick and everything else. And yeah,
Right.
pork wasn't good, but now you know all that stuff, and so it is a little safer to eat. So now you know how to prepare it, and so it's not, it's not. I would say newer cultures, or cultures that are younger, right, not as old, probably don't have the same thoughts. Or I don't know, middle China, they just eat everything. So Chinese people eat everything.
No, I think that's where it kind of is actually interesting, is that with all the different changes, I really wonder how the traditions get passed along. Because I mean, I lost a lot of tradition. I sure don't know it. Right? And how do I mean, I'm not gonna know, oh, this is stuff you have to eat during Lunar New Year's. I mean, I sure didn't know it.
Do you think the current technology makes it a little easier to try to carry some of that technology, or some of the traditions forward?
If people document it, sure. And here's the thing, which kind of mentioned to what Ken was saying, right? I mean, when he first moved in, his dad came along with this plate compass thing. I'll bet somebody has a app for that already today.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So my dad has it on his phone and on his iPad, because my dad's a type, like when he learns about it, he gets curious too. So he'll read books and stuff on this stuff, and he'll learn all about it. So, and the funny thing is, my dad doesn't understand the technology, but he understands the concepts and the markings on the compass. So when he comes over to my house from time to time, he did it like last weekend. He came over with the compass just to do a quick measurement. And he's like, I don't know why, but it keeps pointing in a weird way, right? North isn't there. And I'm like, that's an iPad, Dad. It's not our true compass. You have to do the thing, right? To make it be a bit more accurate, but I didn't tell him anything. I just want to see him struggle with it a little bit. What does that mean?
He's on mute.
Freddie, I think you would know this answer. Is any of you guys Boy Scouts growing up?
Yes.
No, because there's no such thing as true north.
Yes. Well,
it curves. It moves.
It's called true north and magnetic north.
Yes.
There's two. So when you actually calculate how to traverse over like a great distance, there's two things. There's one called true north and magnetic north.
Yep.
I forget what magnetic north is, because there's some huge iron deposit that is close to the North Pole, but not to the same azimuth. Mm-hmm. That's where your compass normally points.
Correct.
But the North Pole is a certain distance from that. Yep. So depending where you are in the on the Earth and what map you're looking at, it also depends, like based on those calculations, so that you know exactly where you're going. Otherwise, you'll be like, oh, I thought I was going to the right place, but I am way off because I followed the wrong line.
And do all Boy Scouts learn to do this calculation?
Did I learn at Boy Scouts? I don't.
Because that's the part where I would have failed.
Well, we had to do land navigation, so there was always like compasses and stuff. I mean, like you had to have compasses, and you had to learn how to like read a map. You had to learn how to go from A to B. You had to learn. Mostly, it was like how to read trails and stuff, because you did a lot of hiking. So it was like, oh, how do you get from here to there? How long is it? How far is it? So how fast are you walking, so that you know how long is it going to take you from you to get from A to B. I mean, you have to hike stuff in, you have to hike stuff out. So you just learn all that stuff as a kid. But I really had to learn it, and really had to be hardcore when I was in the military, because we were drilled on it super hard. And so our our test would be like miles from point to point over like valleys and hills, and you're like, I hope I'm going the right direction. Because you have to look at the map and then you like plant your thing and then okay, and then you take your compass and you're like, oh, okay, well, based on this calculation, it should be, you know, about here, and then yeah, no fun.
I just figured this out recently because I was doing some calculations with my compass and GPS, and then I was off, and then I couldn't figure out why, and then I realized, oh, this magnetic north and true north. I'm like, crap, I used the wrong numbers.
Wow.
So
I don't know if they actually tell you that on the no, they have it on the maps, usually on the legend.
Yep.
If it's one that it tells you like if this is one if the square is a 1 kilometer square, we call it 1 click, right? That's what you hear in these movies. You go, oh, it's 1 click out, that's 1 kilometer. So that's how you know, like, oh, it's 10 clicks, it's 10 kilometers. So like, okay, 1 kilometer square, and so usually at the legend of the map, there'll be something that tells you like what is true north from this point.
Yeah.
So because from where you are in the world, it technically could be a slightly different direction, right? If you're on the other side of the hemisphere, it actually might be, if this is north and this is true north and this is where magnetic north is. If you're on the other side of the hemisphere, it might be like this, right? So, you just have to think about, you have to make those calculations when you're actually working with it.
So Freddie, did they actually make that distinguish the two when you were in the military?
Oh yeah, I mean, you had to know it. You
had to know it. Okay.
We luckily, if you're on a training ground for months, like in Virginia, you already know it's for what, I can't remember whatever it is, but let's say it was like 8 degrees. So you know that every time you do it, every time you make a calculation, you have to add another whatever degrees.
Wow. And
so because we just did a lot of training in the same grounds, you just remembered it from that. But if you move from Virginia to 29 Palms or something, which is in California, it's going to be further, I think. So yeah, you just have to like that map. When you actually get the map, it's you unfold it, it'll say it in the legend.
Mm. So Henry, what were you doing where you had to figure that out?
How did you get lost?
That's a great follow-up. Yeah.
I had to read a map and I had to navigate for a drone license. So
wow,
I had to learn how to read a map properly, and then I went off in the deep end. So
nice. The drone, like flying drone?
Yep, the Part 107.
So what does this type of qualification, if you pass, allow you to do with this drone license?
Then I can fly commercially.
What does that mean?
So for commercial purposes.
Are you dropping Amazon packages to my house? That's what does commercially mean?
If it's below 400 feet, yes, and it's less than 55 pounds.
So technically, you could go from a package from your house to mine.
If I can navigate it from here, technically, yes.
A straight line is not very far.
Yeah, I know. I'll just let it
400. Yeah.
No, but yeah, no. It's one of the things that they test you on is actually is navigating on a map, and you have to decode all those pilots. You probably see this, 13-degree FC something something something. It tells you what kind of wind gust is happening, or even the when the temperature going to look like, or at what temperature and all that stuff. So that's one of the things that I have to do.
Too complicated. Way too complicated for me.
No. I decided to study a little bit. That's what happens.
Wow.
So does part of the licensing require you to fly as well, like actual license?
So imagine if you get your license, you probably need to do the written test first. I'm just trying to get that.
So does this get you a permit? Is like half and half, like your driver's license?
Basically, yeah.
Ooh.
And then they'll allow me to go fly into then I can fly bigger drones if I want to.
How big is a big drone compared to like
anything
one from retail store?
Anything less than 55 pounds.
Payload
no, total
payload, like including the vehicle.
Yes. That's one of the things that I'm trying to do it so I can do something above 55 pounds too. So that's one of the
Do
things.
you
I'm trying
have
to
a
get.
vehicle in mind that you are going to apply this license towards?
I got many vehicles in mind. If I can. No, there's I'm just trying to figure out what is what's the process, because it's fairly archaic. Everything is still up. We all think that everything should be very digital now and all that, but no, everything's still on a piece of paper with a map, and then you have to read it, and then they give you lines. It's all like paper and pencils and papers, and that's all you do to figure this stuff out. Yet for you to pass these things, and for you to pass the FAA licensing, all that stuff, it's just still pretty archaic. So at this point, so I'm just trying to get that just to see if I can get it. That's all.
It's like 55 pounds is like six. Is it like 6 or 8 rotors? Is it like what is? How much is 55 pounds? Is it like huge? Is it a pretty big vehicle usually?
It's probably around what? Ernesto, you said what? How big is that?
I don't know. I would
6
probably,
feet.
Yeah, 6 to 7 feet, maybe somewhere in there.
The wingspan,
taller than half of the people here.
The rotor is about 6 feet span. I know that it fits inside
sure.
a
van.
A van.
Yeah.
So whatever
Nissan
the van.
Yeah.
God damn, that's huge.
Yeah.
That is big.
It takes end to end of the van.
So like chop your hand off.
Oh yeah. That thing can chop your head off.
Way more than that.
That thing.
Well, I mean, like I have a little one. It's like maybe like this big, right? So you hit your finger, no big deal. I'm just saying.
Henry, can you get more than one of them, but synchronized to one controller, and you could bypass the weight limit?
Yeah. How do you get the license where I can use the programmable computer to like do the thing in the sky with the different lights? That's the one that I would want.
He wants to spell his name in the sky with LEDs. That's what he wants to do.
I got a big ego. I would love to see my name in lights in the sky. I feel like, yo, check that shit out. That's my name. Want to spell your name? Okay.
So I total tangent here, but do you guys know about Starlink?
Yeah, that's the Elon Musk internet from the space, right?
Yes.
And they're about what country is it about right now that they're using?
Everywhere.
Oh, even here.
It's
great.
a mesh.
Yes. So here's an interesting thought process, right? So if you imagine there's a coup in, I don't know, I'll make up a country. Right? I'll make up a country. No.
Myanmar.
Fine, Myanmar, right?
Oh God.
And then they decided to shut down internet, right? I mean, they did that in the Middle East, right? Back in what? I forgot where. I mean, they basically shut the internet down so to prevent people from getting information out. The satellite stuff also prevent anybody from shutting down. So basically, Elon Musk has to control the internet of communication as a whole.
I knew he already dominates because it doesn't matter what happens because you can't stop that unless you build something else underneath. But there's no Faraday cage big enough that you can block stuff from space. Just.
So with that being said, I mean, like Great Wall of China doesn't work. The firewall of China doesn't work. The Russia firewalls doesn't work either. The North Korea thing doesn't work either.
This is why Space Force is there or whatever, because it's to protect your satellites more than really to go to space. Like that's how I see it. It's like no wonder they wanted to try to do it is because you want to protect your satellites more than you want to get out into Mars. Who cares about that shit?
Well, there's
the commercial guys got that.
Satellites.
We have to control what's happening here. What's that?
No, I was gonna say there's a ton of satellites out in orbit right now, right? And as well as a bunch of trash and junk, right? That needs to get cleaned up, right?
I wonder if we'll get like all those apocalyptic movies where all of a sudden we just have like the ring of trash, just.
Did we talk about that? The ring of trash last time?
No, I don't think we did.
Oh, okay.
Is there a ring of trash?
No, there was a podcast talking about cleanup efforts of space junk and how they would what they would do with the junk after they collect it. They're like, well, technically, right now the junk isn't at high enough orbit for it to form a ring, but technically, if you scoop them up and shove them out further, over time you can have it, right, due to gravity, have it form a ring. But I don't think we have enough space junk to do that right now.
But why you wouldn't want the ring, right?
Why not? It looks pretty. You can spell your name in the sky.
That's here. Yeah. That's a lot up there. So the theory or the thing that always gets thrown around is, why don't we launch the trash into space? I mean, sorry, not into space, but into the sun. Henry, why can't you do that?
Why you always ask me?
You're always the most scientific.
Because you're the smart one.
No,
Yes.
I'll defer I'll leave the question up to Ken to answer this time around.
Why? I don't know how to fertilize tomato plants. You do.
Ken,
Now
why?
you do. You shake them.
Yeah, I bitch slap them.
Grow!
Make babies. Roma tomatoes. Well,
Does it take a lot of energy? So to like get past the gravitational pull of our own world, does it take? It takes a lot of energy, huh?
I mean,
to
just
like get past a
look
certain barrier.
I mean, just
Or
look at a rocket itself, right? I mean, just look at when the rocket's trying to shoot
It's
up.
all
I mean,
fuel.
it's all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all
Yeah.
liquid oxygen, right?
remember those plastic rockets we used to play with as kids, where you fill it up with some water and you put it on a pump and you pump up the air and you release it? It goes. It's just all air pressure, right?
Yeah.
Can we make rockets with air pressure, Henry?
You can, with enough money and time, you can do
Oh, no,
anything.
I'm not asking you. I'm going to ask, can we make rockets out of compressed air, Ernesto?
With enough money and no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know. You're asking. Look, listen, if you were to give me a map and ask me to head in a certain direction, I would get lost. I can't do that.
He's already like, I'm already lost with it.
No. This is easy. The sun.
No. I'm just
Only one
going.
direction.
No, it's easy. Just go there during nighttime. You don't worry about the sun.
And
No, I think
if you get, I mean, like from here to orbit, I think you need explosive power.
And by the way, if you do enough in compression, by the way, you're liquidizing whatever their air that you're in there anyway. So,
But would inertia push, like, okay, from the ground up to the top? I don't know if you could gather enough, but like if you're already in space, what I was trying to think was, like, if you're already in space, could you do the same thing, but would inertia push whatever's opposite going? Because
actually, I don't know what country it was. I think it was Japan or EU.
like slingshotting it in space already, right? Like you just need to get it up to orbit, but from there you can slingshot it with a different propellant because you're already there.
Yeah, I think Japan or EU is one of the countries that they actually trying to shoot something up and use air to push the space junk into the Earth atmosphere using air.
So it burns up.
So it burns up, and that's what they were trying to. One of the experiments that they were trying to do, because they're attempting to clean up all the space junk up there.
Does that cause more
that,
carbon? Sorry.
No. well, that's what I was. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my question too, right? Does it fully burn on the way in?
So with the right angle, technically, yes.
depends on the size, though.
Yeah, depends on the size. So the size and angle becomes relevant. There's an equation for it, actually.
And then the wrong angle
then
becomes like a meteorite.
Yeah,
Armageddon. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, did you know that's how the dinosaurs went away?
They should have cleaned up their space
Falling
junk.
satellites. They had their satellites all zapped out of the air. They had the wrong calculations because the Tyrannosaurus didn't have his arms long enough
He couldn't
to reach the top of the board.
He couldn't type fast
put in the
enough.
right number.
I couldn't reach it. It's like
Yeah.
this.
So
Oh god.
Exactly.
We apologize. We apologize if there's any Tyrannosaurus Rex listening to this podcast. We mean no insult. Apologies.
Yeah, there's no science happening here. Sorry.
No, definitely zero science. Sorry,
Yeah.
not today.
Now I do recall some people trying to use like weather balloons, right, to lift payloads up to a certain point, and then kick in the fuel to launch it, take it up to the next. Like balloons will take you up to the upper atmosphere, and you're pretty close. And I don't know, is it just purely helium that will do the job? Because you can technically recycle that, right, and reuse it.
You can't. I mean, not necessarily. Helium is actually very precious. We are losing helium more than anything else right now in the world.
God damn, you mean Party Warehouse is like doing it all wrong?
Yeah, no, it's actually really
Sucking
bad.
up precious
It's actually
resources.
really, really bad using helium balloons at this point, because helium doesn't react with anything. So for you to generate helium, it actually takes a lot of energy. So, and then what happens is also it's very light. What happens is start going up into the atmosphere, it will actually get into beyond the space. So we're actually losing helium as we go.
Ooh.
So helium is actually really bad. It's a really great thing for us, but we're not using it like most efficiently, I guess is the right word. I'm not sure what's the right word here.
Okay,
Blown
well,
away.
no, but Ernesto, next time you're at like one of your kids' birthday parties and they inhale the helium into your lungs, you sit them down, you give them a good talk about the scarcity of helium.
My kids, are you kidding me? It's me that's inhaling all that helium.
All right, and so please sit down here.
Yes.
Let me give you a good talk.
Oh man.
Yeah. See.
So wait, what were we going to talk about tonight?
That's what I said. Like we just asked what you're drinking. We'll just start from there.
Yeah. No, that works, man. That works.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Are we going to have it out?
Yeah, we've been thinking about outros. It's kind of interesting. What I'm going to do is
You want to stop recording first?
No.
yeah, let me.
But he's got it out somehow. You gotta like
Well, we
start the
need an
wave, and then
outro.
like someone else catches on the thing. And
Oh, hey,
wait,
high
try-
five!
you just
Like,
wipe
we
it
all
out.
like
Just-
miss it,
just
and then like,
wipe.
oh fuck!
we'll try a couple of different ones.
And then just hang
while
out.
we were- yeah, in the hangout, we'd be like, "Hey, bottoms up, everybody."
Yeah,
So-
but
or good feng shui to you.
Wait, what's the water?
Sprinkling it.
No. You got to take your beer and start doing this. You know.
I'm gonna fuck up my laptop if I do that. No.
But anyways, no, gentlemen, that was always, as usual, super fun. We're kind of like space explorers today, right? We explored the Earth, the space. Don't know where
The
this whole
ground.
thing was taking us. We explored everything, everywhere. That was truly an amazing experience, and I want to thank you all for doing that.
Thank you very much, everybody.